Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Doing a little discussion about the missile crisis, I guess, with FedEx. And I just need some help here. Talk to me, Dave. Drive safe, Dave.
Okay, so basically it was an article released that countermeasures for anti-surface-to-air missiles, SAMs, heat-seeking missiles to be fired at civilian aircraft. They're trying to implement new technology using laser technology to blind these surface-to-air missiles. Pretty interesting stuff that civilian aircraft is going to be utilizing that type of technology. You got something over there?
Yeah, I was going to, bring it down to layman's terms a little bit. FedEx doesn't want to get shot down by missiles, so now they're going to put in infrared technology. And
they go all over the world, and so, like, for example, today, for the United States released a surplus of anti-aircraft and anti-tank weaponry to the Ukraine. Okay, and that is a large supply, a large contingent of that material going there. Now, what typically happens is sometimes that stuff gets lost in the when you give away a bunch of anti-aircraft stuff and you give away a bunch of anti-tank weaponry, every now and then that falls not necessarily into the right hands. And that's what they're trying to do. And this doesn't just happen on the United States side. This happens on all sides. And that weapon falls into terrorist hands or can fall into that. And what they're trying to do is trying to make sure that they're not being shot down by it.
So, producer, what's FedEx have to do with this?
So, as far as I understand, and I could be wrong about this, FedEx flies to places that are not just in the U.S., and so they are potentially going to be flying over countries that don't want you to be flying over them. And so, to prevent them from getting shot down, they're going to use some of this military technology that Drive Safe Dave was talking about.
Implement this on there, right?
Yes.
It's pretty interesting, and it not only that. So in the past,
who pays for these laser things? Is it FedEx?
Yeah, they'll pay with it.
They've got a little bit of money.
They got a little bit of money, so we can probably expect. So if you're flying, if you're getting your package, maybe that will be safe. If you're flying jump seat, perhaps on a FedEx plane, maybe that will happen. But if you're flying American Airlines, no, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, they just lost $2 billion, and if you're telling me that they have to pay for this, I'm not sure it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Did you see they just announced? What a bad year again. And that's after the U.S. gave them the credits, gave them money. They said, hey, without that, it would have been about a $1.1 billion loss anyway.
Of that quarter.
Yes. It's just, holy snap.
And this is kind of surprising to me, honestly, because from the few experiences I've had with flying this past year, it seems like a lot of people are flying right now. A lot of people are buying airline tickets and going.
And not only that, but you think about it, I don't know, is this an accounting number or is this a real number? I mean, at some point it's got to be close to real because we're talking billions of dollars, but is this truly an accounting number? Because sometimes
I'm going to go out and say it's probably pretty close. I don't think, you know what, if you're trying to, I can get, if you're out there and if you're trying to evade paying some tax like that, I get maybe a couple thousand, maybe 100,000 for a big company, but to go to a $2 billion loss and try to hide that, sweep that under the rug, that's going to be its own little talent, So I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well,
but aircraft's still down, right? I mean, think about the amount of planes that didn't fly. Think about how COVID affected that company. Thank God, didn't they have the influx on the cargo side really helped them out still, but still a major loss in spite of the cargo that kind of came in and saved the day. No telling what that loss would have been had the cargo not stepped in.
Yeah, they got, and not only that, they're also still infighting and going on with the unions that that happen with the airlines, and they're going at it. So the airlines is not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. They're going to continue to figure out what they have to do. I'll tell you right now, you have I don't foresee big money changes this year. Do you, producer?
Yeah, I mean, and I was going to add on to them feeling the internal struggles. In fact, a lot of American airline pilots are actually picketing right now because they themselves are feeling that hurt from the $2 billion loss. They are feeling that they're not getting paid, or they're getting frustrated because they're going to go out and try.
Hold on a second. But here's my argument on this right here. So hold on a second. We're not making enough money, so we're just not going to work. Even though we lost over a couple $1 billion, you know what? To make sure that we get our money, how about we just not work and lose more money? And somehow, I don't think that's the answer. You got to get back to work. You got to fly, and I know it's just tough
Weren't
right
they
now.
offering up to 3 times the salary if you would fly? Didn't we?
It was like during the month of January.
Yeah,
So it was, that was for a month. But
Could you
you
make
know what?
up
We
like-
got to get the flights going. We got to keep the planes full. We have to work. And like everybody else, there's a shortage going on right now
100%.
that affects, yes, it's everything. I saw an article or a post on LinkedIn that said, you know what? Yes, we're short staffed, but we're here working. So like, give us a break. You know what? We're short staffed, but there's somebody here, and yes, you may not get the same service that you got pre-COVID, but we're here, so respect us and tip us and have patience with us, producer.
And so I'm going to revise what I said a little bit. I read through a bit more and got some more accurate information. So what they're actually upset about is maybe too many breaks, because they're saying that erratic delays and cancellations by the airline are causing them fatigue and stress, because they're not imagine if you were in the middle of your week-long shift and all of a sudden you get delayed in Chicago and you live in Texas. You can, and then you're just stuck there for
another couple days. You're going to have a hard time telling a bunch of truck drivers. You're going to have a hard time feeling.
And I think
we've done that for years, and it sucks. And yes, but you bring up a great point. You know what? And imagine that. But Dave, producer brings up a great point, because we as this country, we just like, you know what? We don't understand that the truck drivers have done this for years, right? when we tell you, hey, listen, just take another 10.
Yeah.
Take another 10 and be ready to go. You're like, my God, I just took 12. I
can't
just shut down again.
I'm that close to a 34. Just take a 34, yeah. or your load's not. You can't deliver.
All right, so let's do this. You're a truck. You're an ex-truck driver. I don't. I get everything, right? There's a lot of timing and all of this, and loads aren't ready. But I know stuff happens on both sides. Right. Drivers, customers, shippers, freight, times, all of this right here. But there's that thing that says, you know what? You've already been down for 24 hours. Yeah, I know you've only worked for 12 hours this week, but hey, just take another 10. You got your brand new 34. I'm like, what? What? I want to work. I want to get me out there running. What do you mean, just take another 10 and have a 30? I got plenty right now. I've only ran for 12 or 14. That's all I've got on my book. Drive Safe Dave, when our drivers are out there, when we experience these delays that like these pilots are doing, you've been there. Talk to me about that. And if you want to raise your hand and just talk about that, let us call on you as well. Talk about your body, your mindset, from just being worn out to when you have taken that break, and now you have to take another 10-hour break, because just take another 10 and we'll be ready to go. Dave, how's that make you feel?
First of all, the frustration is incredible. All right, and the stress is incredible, because you got to get. Especially if you have to be somewhere, if you're out there working, and if you're trying to get to a certain point, like at the end of your deal, or you have something planned, that makes it really, really hard on the driver. And it makes it hard personally, because you have to make that call again to your significant other. You have to make that call one more time. Hey, looks like I'm delayed. And you know what? There's disappointment all across the board. I'll tell you, some of the hardest things to do is after you've slept and then you're up, and then you got to go back to sleep again so that you can be prepared 10, 12 hours later. Your body clock doesn't allow it. It makes it really, really hard.
All right, so here we go. So something bad's happened out there, and now, you know what? So now you have the frustration level, right? And the frustration is, like you said, it's calling home and telling your kid or your daughter, your wife that I'm not going to make the party, I'm not going to see you graduate, I'm not going to make the big ball game. And then you have the next thing that kicks in. First of all, your mind's going, right? And it's not only is it frustration, but you're starting to, are they doing that intentionally? Why did so-and-so
the dispatcher hates me?
Yes, and all of this happens right here, and then you grab the book, start flipping through, I'm going to find a new job. That's another thing that, that's what happens.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Drive Safe Dave, to your next point is, you've already taken your break. You've already taken your break, and if you're a shipper out there, a trucking company out there, just hear me out a second. They've already slept, and we all don't need 10 hours of sleep anyway.
Nope.
But this driver, this person, this human, and it's key, I think, to remember that they're humans, they're not robots. They're ready to go. Their body clock is saying, you know what, let's go. I'm ready to work. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And then they shut down again, and when it's time to run, 10 hours later, 11 hours later, they're worn out again.
Yeah, I've always said, if I earned a a nickel for every minute I had to wait, and patiently, I would owe like $3 because I just can't wait patiently. And I think that's ultimately what you're doing. You're ready to go, and now you're asked to wait patiently. And it is hard because well, at the end of this 10, I'm going to be up for a while, and then I've got to run another 10. So we're looking at maybe 20 hours before I really get to lay down.
Yeah, unreal. Listen, we're going to go to a break, and let me tell you, I'm going to brag. Our audience, our listeners today, they're saying, man, I don't experience that because we have no hands raised, Drive Safe Dave. That means that, you know what? Life is good. Maybe that's trucking of old. Maybe there are no more delays, and there are no, hey, take another 6 hours, 8 hours. I guess that doesn't happen anymore. Hey, but we'll be back in about 60 seconds on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hey, everybody. It's Drive Safe Dave here with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. As you know, winter is upon us, and with winter comes some difficulties and challenges. Now, if you live below or running below that 20 or I-10 corridor, you may not feel that pressure, but if you do, let's talk about a few little tips that we have. Tip number 1, let's make sure we get over here and we drain these air tanks. Let's get that moisture out of there so that we make sure, because moisture and freezing cold temperatures don't mix. All they make is ice. Tip number 2, remember when air temperature drops, so does pressure in these tires. You want to make sure that when you enter into or near cold temperatures, you make sure that your tire pressure is and cold pressure stays correct throughout these cold temperatures. You want to be safe out there because this is where the rubber meets the road. Tip number 3, if it's extreme weather and extreme cold conditions, you may want to make sure that you use an anticoagulant or an anti-gel inside the diesel fuel so that it thins and doesn't gel up on you in the lines or anywhere else. Tip number 4, as you know, when you enter into the West, there are certain regions that require you to have snow chains and or snow socks in that region. Make sure that you carry them. And tip number 5, I'm going to give this one to you as a freebie. Carry with you a little bit of cat litter in your truck. That way, if you get a little bit stuck or if you get near a region that doesn't have a lot of grip, you can throw that down and give your truck that needed oomph to get out of those sticky or slippery situations. For more pertinent and safety information, you can always tune in Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time between 7 and 8 a.m. and get that needed information on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Thank you, and welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave, a lot of things we still want to cover, but we want to make sure we're making time for this. The big beware of Bigfoot sign that is seen all over this country as well as a safety thing. Drive safe. Help us out there.
Oh, yeah. So this is a sign. This is an actual sign, but it's a fun sign. You know, we bring to light a lot of different signs for information. We see a lot of signs out there for safety. We see a lot of signs. But you know what? This is an opportunity just to bring attention. I think that a lot of signs go out there and go unnoticed, don't recognize, don't take a look at them. This sign was actually put out for fun. It was actually put out by the Parks and Wildlife, and it is out there. So it is just a fun sign. Beware of Bigfoot in area. It's just a big deal, and I've got my Big Woods hat on. So I'm out there not trying to find Bigfoot today.
All right. So you see that there. And again, if you see that sign, beware, because maybe it's not Bigfoot, maybe it's a bear. You know, you don't see that down south, I don't think, right?
Not too many times. No, not
so you're going to see it up there where maybe there's some other animals. Arkansas, I don't know. Arkansas probably has that sign up there.
Sasquatch. I don't believe the Sasquatch is running around in the Ozarks, but you never know.
Did you ever believe those? I was a believer in Bigfoot.
Okay.
I was a believer for a while, and I still don't know the Loch Ness. You think the Loch Ness is real?
No, I don't think the
Producer,
Loch Ness.
what about you? You think that's...
I think the Loch Ness was real at one point, and maybe not anymore.
300 million years ago? Is that what we're going with? I mean,
You know what? And call me a skeptist here. Call me crazy here.
History,
all right? Yeah, no. Wait, hear me out. The Loch Ness is an incredibly deep lake,
okay.
right? Loch Ness, and there are many different caverns, all kinds of crazy stuff in there. I mean, I haven't been to the bottom of Loch Ness.
Okay, just because the room's dark and you can't see in there doesn't mean there's a monster in there.
Maybe to you, maybe to you.
But I do think that I think all those are just like myths. Now we know that because I mean we have these phones, these cameras.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly somebody would get a better picture than
in the
what's ever
70s.
been
They had
taken.
the scratch sheet Kodak.
I would go with it on that, right? You didn't know. I mean, it was a Polaroid. I mean,
Yeah,
it looked
now,
real.
Now everybody's got one of these. These
Yeah.
myths are coming out.
Which is funny that you mentioned that, because how many UFO sightings have we had in the past 10 years now that we have phones? And it's not just like some shaky camera getting a tiny little picture of a disc in the air. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed.
Do we have UFO sightings?
We do have UFO sightings. There's still UFO sightings today. There's still
Like
a lot going on.
good, clear pictures of them?
You know,
Producer?
I mean, there's actual.
I'm looking it
By
up.
the way, so there's actual clear sightings by military aircraft and aircraft in the sky, and I think that's probably the most state-of-the-art equipment out there.
So, we have some real pictures of that?
I believe we do.
Producer, show us some. I mean,
Hey, I'm looking around
you
for
just
some
said
stuff.
yes,
You got to
and
give
I
me.
believe we do.
Yes, we do.
So
I've
once
seen-
again, you're just predicting news.
I'm not predicting news.
He's
What is that?
He's a news
Predicting-
predictor. He's
I
not,
do.
not a newscaster. All right, let's go into some real news. So last weekend, right, that's when Canada said, hey, you know what? Here's the deal. If you're not vaccinated, you're not coming into our country for the trucking, right? That was a big thing that happened last week. This Saturday, it kind of goes the other way. The United States isn't allowing those from Canada or Mexico to cross the border if you're not vaccinated. And that means partially vaccinated doesn't count. You're not coming in. Any driver. Is that news, or you're
No, that's
shocking? You're like, you
No,
got anything to add?
No,
I mean, come on.
No, actually, it is, and I don't know the total ramifications. I know that we're going to start that this weekend. I don't know what the total ramifications are going to be, but it's going to be
Make
whatever.
it up. You know,
Just
you're
make
our
it up.
news
Oh,
predictor.
it's
That's what
going to
we
be
do.
tragic. There's going to be long lines. There's going to be blockages at the border, and people aren't going to be able to get through.
But they are saying, if you read some of the, people are kind of saying, you know what, this could, especially on the Mexico side, produce a 10 to 15% loss of drivers coming into the United States. And that would be big. You think about the B carriers, those folks that come from Mexico to here and have to go right back. Well, if they can't bring that product in here, again, a shortage that we already have, that could really affect this economy that's struggling. Let's face it, the ocean, we're struggling at those ocean parts, and now we're going to hit the borderlands where it can be major delays once again.
Yeah, and I don't know.
The lines on the bridge may not be as long, though.
They might be, because they're stopped there trying to show their card and trying to get through, but you don't allow them. You don't get to go to the crosstalks, and not only are we going to see shelves short supplied, we may see produce short supplied, right? Especially in some of the regions that some of the stuff comes across.
Just the parts. Think about all the business, the U.S. business that's there. We bring it a little bit closer. We like that business sitting over there. Now it's not going to be able to come over here.
Right.
I do also can kind of see an opportunity for new businesses. We saw it on eBay, right, to sell, fake vaccination cards. I can just see almost like a lemonade stand sitting out there.
Let's not promote. Let's not promote. Federal
Lemonada. And then next to lemonade stand, you'll have your little your vaccination cards too. You can get them.
Got to be careful of those federal documents being.
I get
counterfeit.
this part right here.
Might be
Producer, just tell me.
treason.
I get the treason part, but who really knows on these things? I mean, I've seen my card. I mean, how do you know that I really got it or I didn't get it? You'd have to do a lot of work. I don't think it's
it's registered. I think there's a number
that
on there.
quick.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I don't know. There's a database.
Is there a number on it?
Yeah, there's a number on each one. There's a database.
I don't know.
I can go check in my car right now, but we do have a driver on the line. We got Alan Arnold. What do you got for us, sir?
Good morning, Mr. Allen.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Rick, Mr. Dave. I find it crazy that legal crossings, you have to have a vaccination. But illegal crossings, hey, I think
we don't have any of
this
those already.
administration, I think this administration watched Bob Barker way too much. Come on down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm stealing that one from you, Alan. I'm going to steal that later on. Great point on that. Yeah, if you're crossing over legally, it affects you. If you're crossing over illegally, hey, it really doesn't matter.
And speaking of aliens, here actually is a recent video of aliens going back to the topic we were at originally here. Apparently, these are alien spacecraft from some website that I found that has a list of all of the recent alien sightings. So you guys can be the judge of that.
First of all, who's up that high just filming it? Is that a hot air balloon? You're sitting up there just
You're in an
taking those
airplane. You
things?
never looked out the window of an
Not.
airplane?
Those look like doves, or those look like some kind of birds flocking together.
Those are the
Canadian
pelicans,
geese.
yeah, Canadian
Those
geese.
are Canadian geese flying, and that's how they fly.
Above the
oftentimes.
Sirius, at 40,000 feet.
It was raining.
It's cold down there.
I sometimes have a hard time believing that a goose can fly that high up in the sky with no oxygen whatsoever.
All right, so do you believe in UFOs?
Do I believe in aliens? Yes.
Do you believe in UFOs?
Yes, I do.
Why would you answer? Do I like cookies? Yes.
Yes, of course.
You do, producer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Drive Safe Dave on that. I actually did a speech about this in college back in my day. I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but it was a part of my it was a capstone class. I did it, and it was a pretty long thing. But yeah, there's this thing called the Fermi paradox to talk about why we don't see aliens all the time. And basically, we, on the scale of what an alien who could travel light years away to actually see us, we're just kind of like an anthill whenever we're walking on a path. So would you stop down at an anthill and try and talk to the ants and help them make their anthill bigger?
I don't know. There are entomologists though, so I'm gonna say that I think there is life out there. The universe is too large, too great. It's such a wonderful place. I think we just got to find it. It'll take a while, but we're not.
If you've seen a UFO, if you've seen a real alien, hey, let us know that. We like to break those stories here, and we need a real picture, real video. I know we saw that there, but that doesn't guarantee that it's a UFO, right? Are you convinced it's UFO?
I don't think that sighting right there. I didn't like that one, but okay. Yeah. There's been some by military.
Well, I'm sorry.
There's been some by some military.
We don't have the best team over here to get UFOs.
Chase. I mean, they had an F-16 trying to chase one time. He couldn't catch it, and
that was just this who a story.
No,
the story. Hey, once upon a time, there was this F-16. Usually, when it starts with that, it's not true story. I'm going fake news.
Actually, we did have a driver suggest that there is an alien walking among us, and I think that we did manage to get a picture of him right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed. Meta. Is that Meta? Who is that right there? Hey, listen, we'll be back to you in about 60 seconds with some more BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hi, this is David Dover, also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Safety is what you want to talk about, and safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better.
The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
You got to be prepared to stop, and when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live today.
All right, hey, welcome back, and we still have that phrase that pays. We got big money. It could have been bigger, but our expert over here missed out on a chance to give back to you.
How did I miss out on a chance?
That was when y'all had to get those abbreviations.
I didn't know that. That wasn't a part of the rules. I would have tried harder if I'd have known that. You never said that.
To be completely fair, and we can go back on the tape here, Sir Rick did say if you get some of these, he will double the money that comes on Friday.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Choked on every one. You didn't get one of them right.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
None of them right. So anyway, so we got some sports we want to talk about. We got phrase that pays we're going to get to. First, though, we talked last week or the week before about that implant, right, on the pig, on a human's heart, and it worked so far successful. They're doing more, though, right now. They're bringing in some kidneys in or other plants into dead bodies. I don't know how you prove that works or not, but producer, help me out.
No. He's not dead. He's pronounced brain dead. The body's still functioning, but the body's the brain dead. So the body's still alive on life support. So what they're doing is they're attaching these organs to see if it would work on a human. And I mean that's what they're doing.
Yeah, so basically, just like Drive Safe Dave said, they had permission from the deceased, from the relatives' family, the guarantors, I guess, or whoever it was, for this man, and they said, you know what, he's gonna pass, but yes, if you guys want to try this out and see if it works, so we can help other people out in the future, go for it. So they are trying a kidney transplant right now with a pig. Yeah,
that's just crazy technology. anything from the pig, what would you want if you could get something from that pig, Drive Safe?
I like the backstrap, personally.
I'm gonna go with the tail. I think that would be free. I'd like to have that little pigtail on me. I think that'd be different. Different, right? I mean, it'd be tough finding a pair of jeans, but I could cut them out a little bit and just have the tail sticking out.
I might the pork belly. I think I already have. So, like I already have the pork.
You guys
belly.
ever see that Twilight Zone episode? You know, it'd be a lot like that. You wake up and everybody kind of looks like a pig. Whenever you guys ever watch that episode?
You know what? I think
remember
have
that.
Seen
I
that.
remember
yes,
that.
sir. I have seen that. Sports this weekend. We got some big football games coming up, right? The NFL, the last 4 games of the season. And here we go, Drive Safe Dave. It is prediction time at BCB Live. You got Cincinnati at Tennessee. We're going just straight win, Drive Safe. No points. Who you picking?
I'm going to take the Bengals.
I'm taking Bengals, producer.
I'm going to go with Bengals, too. Sure.
Bengals are it. Put your money down. Put your house down right now on those Cincinnati Bengals. All right, we have the San Francisco 49ers, the same San Fran team that beat the Dallas Cowboys up against at Green Bay.
Packers.
Packers.
Yeah, I'm taking Packers all day. For
Packers.
Sure.
It's another one here. You got 2. If you have another house, sell that one too. And here we go. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting those Rams from Los Angeles.
Wow, this is a great game. I'm going to take.
I'm going.
This is the upset of the season.
Hold on a second. Who do you have?
I'm going Bucks. I'm sorry. Consistency is key here. I'm going Bucks.
You know what? It's hard. Every time I bet against this dude, he beats me. But I'm going against him this time. I think it's going to happen.
Why are you picking the Rams?
I just think they're hot. I think they look good. I think they're complete round of time.
Those pants just look great on them over
they're
there.
Hot. They're smoking hot.
No,
have you seen them in them
They're
pants?
coming together. I think they're coming together at the right time. And I think they look great on both sides of the ball. I'm taking the Rams.
All right, we got a Rams. We got the hot Rams coming in at 12-5 versus those Tampa Bay at 13-4. So Drive Safe Dave. I'm stuck on this one here. I would normally take Tampa Bay on this one here, but the reason I'm not going to take Tampa Bay is they have too many injuries. I know it's at Tampa Bay. I know you have Tom, but listen, they're missing a running game. They're hurt a little bit at that lineman game. I'm taking the Rams. I don't think they're hot. I think they lose the next game. I think they suck. But I think that the Tampa Bay's hurt a little bit. And Brady, I'm going against you, and I went against you last year, and you hurt me. I'm going to be honest with you. You hurt me, but I'm going against you again. And the last game, and here it is. This is the hottest game, I think, of the weekend. Buffalo Bills at those Chiefs from Kansas City.
Wow. You know what? I like the Bills.
I want the Chiefs to win, but I think the Bills are going to take it.
Oh, I am stuck on this game. The Bills showed you something last week like, wow. And here's the deal. That Kansas City Chiefs defense is horrible. 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 And I know we have Dalen Zeesh up there. They're
the best team ever.
Buffalo Bills it as well. There you go. Those are your picks. You know what? You have 3 guarantees right there. You have the Buffalo Bills. You have the Cincinnati.
And Green Bay.
And Green Bay.
Yep.
Those are your 3 locks. That other game, Tampa Bay, L.A., look at the points. Just stay away from that. You got 3 games to bet on. Drive Safe Dave, it is Phrase That Pays time. And You know what? We're going to give you a chance to get some little gambling money, right? It's $200 anyway. It could have been 4, but you can still make it 4 if you pick the right team. Producer, give me a name.
We got Bill Criddle on the line, sir. Can you give us that phrase that pays? Mr. Bill Criddle, can you give us that phrase that pays?
You should be able.
Too. It is a long one. It's gonna be a little bit of a struggle here. Mr. Bill Criddle, give us that phrase that pays, sir.
We're going strike 1, Bill. This is $200 that you can turn into $400 if you listen to our picks of the week right there. Come on now. Who else we got?
All right.
Strike
McNeil Anglin. Can you give us that phrase that pays, McNeil?
McNeil, whopping you.
You should be able to unmute your mic, sir, and if you are in a safe position to do so, such as not driving, you can also unmute or type that into the question box as well. What you got for us, McNeil?
McNeil, man, you know what, McNeil, he doesn't need that money. He's just he knows it. He's ready to go, but he's like, you know what? I've got plenty of money. Find somebody else. Who do we have?
Patricia Johnson. Can you give us that phrase that pays, ma'am?
Woo,
Patricia Johnson.
Have not heard from Patricia in a little while.
Patricia Johnson.
Oh, I cannot give y'all the phrase that pays because I did not hear it.
Oh my gosh, it's rolling over. Strike three. Guess what?
Patricia, you could have turned that 200 into 400. You could have done
And
it.
I showed I needed to. This is the first time since the show been going on that you ever called my name for the answer, and I don't have it.
Oh my goodness. Well, write it down next time. Let's keep going. And I'll tell you what, the phrase that pays is snow and ice can be bleak. Drive with care so we don't lose our safety streak.
All right, you heard it first. Coming up next, buckle up, Bob, and a little bit of weather and safety only here at BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected.
News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong.
Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety.
One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome on this Friday to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Is Buckle Up Bob, and it is traffic time. We are going to check to see what's going on. As always, we start with the home state, right? The home city, kind of. Dallas-Fort Worth area. Fort Worth, you all look great. A little bit of an issue on the southbound 35. This is all kind of construction area, if you will. As you start to get to the emerge point here, which is always a problem as well. So you've got a little bit of a traffic probably, or maybe even an accident back up there. Expect some delays there. Otherwise, Fort Worth, you look great this morning. DFW, not bad. Downtown area, some issues. 114 over here on the southbound has a little bit of a problem by Irving. But the loops are all great. Just typical rush hour traffic over here by Garland. You're looking at maybe a 10-minute delay there. But all in all, it's good Friday commute in the DFW area this morning. Houston looks pretty good. I mean, really, it looks like a normal day. Just a little bit of a problem here on the west side by 10, 6, 10, and 10 as it comes on the southbound side lanes. Downtown, of course, but the loop, go around. Looks great. 610, you look awesome this morning. Some clear sailing. If you are in the Houston area. Kansas City, I don't hardly see anything. Just some spots here or there. So Kansas City, great job again. Just be patient, right? Let them in. Remember what we always say here, yield the right of way versus take it. And you will see all these stay green on your commute in Kansas City this morning. As we get to Chicago, wow, it looks great again, everybody. I mean, this is just terrific in Chicago. There's just nothing going on. The downtown area, of course, but a lot of times this will bring back all the way back outside this inner loop there, and it's not even close. So 88, you are clear coming in from the west all the way out to Rochelle and DeKalb into Naperville. 80 in the southern part coming east. Looks great all the way up through Joliet and on through to Indiana. The 80, 90 is across the state lines. 90 up here from Rockford all the way to Schaumburg and inside Elk Grove Village. You look good. And then Waukegan and Lyndhurst coming down from the north. Everything looks great in Chicago this morning, so good job there. Atlanta, whoa, where'd all the red go? For Atlanta, this looks great, everybody. I'm just going to tell you, the loop looks really good. Just a little bit of stop and goes here. Sandy Springs always has a problem. Right here at this merge point, because you see it's the eastbound side over here, and it's the westbound side over on the east side of the 400 there. So that's the merge point that always seems to get backed up, as well as 20 eastbound here as you come into the loop just by that airport. But that's it. 85 is clear this morning. Coming in. Now, they do have a little bit of problem up here at the merge, 985, 85. Remember, folks, we talk all the time. Merges are dangerous, right, for big rigs. So and that's one of those things where we really want to push and get you to look inside yourself and say, I'm going to yield the right of way. Don't worry about taking it. Just be patient, and these merge points will be a little bit better for you. But all in all, really a good job this morning. 20 is clear on the east side heading west. By Stonecrest, it usually is an issue. So, Atlanta, you got a great commute this morning. Keep it going. Nashville looks pretty good. 24, not too bad as it can be a problem. Not red here on the 2465 as you come down south 24. That looks good this morning. The loop is clear. And even 40 passing through looks great this morning as you come into the Nashville area. So, again, great job there. Enjoy your commute in Tennessee this morning, folks. D.C. and Baltimore. D.C. looks pretty good. Let's see. We got a little bit of issues. Not too bad, though. The loop looks great in Baltimore. We got a little bit of a problem coming south from Arbutus. Maryland there, 95, heading down southbound. You can see a little bit of backup all the way to this 100 cross. So, again, you're going to have about a 15 to 20-minute delay possibly there on the southbound lane. Same thing, a little bit of a delay here in Jessup on 295. But 70 looks clear. The loop looks pretty good in the Baltimore area. And as you come into D.C., it looks good. Everything around it, we got a little problem up here in Silver Spring, Bethesda. All this is both directions, right? Both lanes have some issues this morning. So you've got about a 20-minute to 30-minute delay possibly there. You have the south or westbound on 50 here near Landover has a problem. But the rest looks good. 66 is clear. 495, 95 loop, the rest of the around looks good. 270 coming down, merging in, looks good. So, DC, great job. Again, you've got a really nice commute this morning. Pack your patience, reduce your speed, and increase your space. As we get into the Philadelphia area, it looks a little bit better on the Jersey side than yesterday. We still got a little problem here at Belmar. And then, of course, backed up to Conshohocken. That's typical, but it's not that dark red. So, again, it looks like a normal commute this morning in the Philadelphia area. Remember yesterday, 95 was backed up all the way here, had a red all the way through it, just a little section this morning. So again, you got a pretty decent commute in the Philadelphia area this morning. And as we forgot Indianapolis? All right. Indianapolis, you're clear. No, I'm just kidding. It usually is. So we're going to go into some weather here. Let's get it up here. The current. So you kind of see it looks really nice. A little bit of a wind up here in the north. Not too bad. Shouldn't be a problem for everybody this morning. But the big thing is the temperature. So we want to see what the current temperature. Oh, look at that. Everything is blue almost, right? Little warm pocket snuck in there somewhere up here in the Dakotas and eastern Montana. But look at this. We got minus 17 Iowa City, right? So the purple shrunk, but now there's another one over here in the northeast. Vermont, Massachusetts, minuses this morning. Single digits in Connecticut and Massachusetts this morning. Pennsylvania's northern part, single digits. So we've got a really bitter cold. The only place that hits the 50s is Florida this morning, and that's about it. So just Florida has 50s this morning, folks. You can see Dallas has some 19-degree recordings this morning. So at the airport. Well, as we go through the day, we'll see it starts to warm up a little bit, but not a whole lot, right? Atlanta, 39 to forecast, 40 in New Orleans, Dallas 40, and this is at 2 p.m. So again, it's still going to stay cold. That real bitter cold kind of lightens up a little bit. Remember, the wind chills are up here too, so up here in the north, then wind chills are going to be down in that 0 to below 0 range as well. I think this morning in the DFW area, it was in the teens with the wind chill factor. So we've got that bitter cold. Tomorrow, let's see if your weekend kind of warms up a little bit. And you can see it does shrink a little bit. The temperatures don't get really warm, but more of it is above freezing. And as we go into Sunday, we get a little bit better. Yeah, St. Louis finally gets above freezing. Atlanta 45, right? Dallas near 60. So not a great warm up, but pretty decent as we go through. The big thing, let's see what the precipitation is going to do as we go through the day-to-day. Let's see if it's changed any. The Carolinas were supposed to get some freezing rain, and they're going to get it, but it looks like it's not quite as big as it was forecasted earlier in the week. There you go. So remember, all that snow area was kind of red or pink yesterday, so you're still going to get some freezing rain. It looks like it's going to be closer to the coast and the ocean more than inland. So a lot of the main highways going up and through the Carolinas probably are going to be okay today, so we'll keep an eye on that. Got another system pushing in the Denver area, as you can see as well. And then for Saturday, kind of dries up. Some lake effect snow. Dakota gets some, but you can see the rest of the country looks really good. A little bit out here in Arizona, some mix, but the temperatures are supposed to warm up, so we shouldn't see too much problems there for your weekend. So it looks like our weekend is shaping up to be a pretty decent one. Let's see what we've got with new snow. And so for the next 3 days, you can kind of see 5 inches here. Right along the coast is going to be the heaviest. But all in all, in the next 3 days, not a whole lot of accumulation for new snow expected. So, again, looks like we're going to get pretty good a weekend for everybody. Just going to be on the cold side. So we're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back with some safety.
Here, host of BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. If you don't already know about Freight and Review, it's a segment I cover once a week where I analyze freight rejections, freight tenders, driver productivity, and much, much more. You can watch Freight and Review on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
All right, welcome back to BCB Live. Buckle up, Bob. Thoughts on UFOs? Talk to me.
Yes, I believe the good Lord created us. He was definitely all world and can make other civilizations. There was a show, probably.
Was it a show or a documentary?
Star Trek?
No, it was not.
Close Encounters of the Third
No,
Kind?
the Air Force has an organization that investigates UFOs called Project Blue Book, and they made a movie or a TV show of it. And what they would do is they would disprove a lot of them, and then the ones they really couldn't, they would just give you what they did, their investigation, and you got to
Who
decide.
did this? So
I
who
thought that
paid
was
for
Men in
this?
Black. Is that not Men in Black? That sounds like the premise.
So actually, Project Blue Book
Book
ended, I believe, in the 70s, but during the
Could have
50s and 60s.
All right, so recently, I'm talking about some real, we have all this technology, much better than the 70s. I just got to say, if they were real, if it was real, if UFOs are real, Martians and all that right there, then we would be, by now we would be interviewing one right now.
Yeah,
We'd
okay.
be
On
sitting
the
there
flip
talking-
side
they'd
of
be
that,
here. We would see them.
on the flip side of that, we don't even have all the papers from the JFK assassination released yet. I don't think we're going to get anything about aliens for a long time.
I'm just saying we would see them today. I'm not, I get the past, we
know.
thought we saw them and all of this. I'm saying today, with the technology we have,
Oh, my God.
drive safe. Talk to me. Well, how could we not?
You know what? There are so many advances in technology that we are soon to have that we don't have yet today.
How
I'm
could
saying
we?
we're not at the pinnacle, I believe, of our evolution. Do you believe that right now this
I
is the
believe it is.
pinnacle of our
Let's
evolution?
hope it ain't as
I
good
believe
as
you
it
topped out years ago. I don't know about we or not, but yes, sir. All right, let's go into safety. This isn't going anywhere, but no, it's not real. They're not
Yes,
real.
it
You
is.
won't see a Martian UFO. It's all fake news.
World is flat.
Yeah.
Same dude.
Yeah, and the world is
I
flat.
disagree. No.
Right.
Same dude.
That was pretty good. Yeah, the world is flat. Oh, goodness. Hey, we've been talking this week about, reporting accidents and what to do, the accident procedure. And the fifth thing is when you finally get to the point where you're going to give a summary of what happens, ask 3 questions or be prepared to ask and answer, depending on who's interviewing. And if it's the driver calling in, be prepared to answer the what, the how, and the why. Just 3 basic questions. They're very important, and we want to get that information early on. An example, hey, what happened? Sideswiped. Don't say sideswiped a car or a vehicle. I sideswiped a black Honda, right? Give a couple details that may help identify this vehicle down the road. How did it happen? I was merging from the left-hand lane to the right-hand lane in moderate traffic. Don't just say I was making a lane change, right? Give a couple minor, but some detailed adjectives of what's going on. And then, why did it happen? Well, the vehicle was in my right front fender blind spot, okay? So now that helps your company and the investigator, right? Tells the story, paints a nice picture, but it also gives the company what they need to do right away to help maybe train drivers, maybe help become better drivers, safer drivers out there, because we know exactly pretty much what happened. The other day I was looking at one that said pigtail was damaged, backing up. Well, how do you damage a pigtail? Was it connected? Was he backing to a trail? Just little subtle information that can help the investigation a long way.
All right, I know we got videos, Bob. Before we do that, I want to get your opinion on some of these cameras that we see today, right, in these vehicles. That we've got videos that we've seen, but you also make mention of some of the newer cameras. What does that technology say a new camera has over the old camera in these trucks?
What I love about the new cameras is the immediate. We talk all the time about how time is important about getting the driver's attention. And immediately when something happens, these new cameras can do in-cab signaling right away to the driver. They will tell them, you're following too close. One of the things you've talked about, and I love it too, is when they get that cameras where they can focus on just the driver's face on the inward, I think it's going to be so much better because all you're looking for is some kind of a distraction coming up into the picture or the driver nodding off to where they get an in-cab alert. You need to pull over. The company gets alert. Let's protect the driver and everybody around them. Not beat them up, say, hey, you're tired. You've been running hard. We need you to pull over.
For certain. And on those outward-facing cameras, are those shots better than they used to be?
Oh, they are so clear. I mean, we're going to be able to see. You're going to see a video today where I can't do anything with the local police because I can't get the license plate number. And I think the new camera technology, you're 100% right. I mean, we got satellites that can read your license plate. That technology is going to lead right in here.
And so I end it with this right here. Is it safe to say that today's technology in cameras is so much better than it was, say, in the 70s?
Oh, not even
Yeah,
close.
right?
Yeah.
So if UFOs were real, we would see them today because the cameras, and you're my expert witness, you just said that, man, it would pick it up, it would do all these things.
You're leaving out one important point.
Ants cannot take pictures
If we can't go to
of us.
every galaxy that we've seen, then we can't assume that they can come to see us.
Okay, I'm not going to argue
But
about
they
this, but
can
I
live
guarantee you
out
the iPhone 14, when it comes out, will have a better camera than the iPhone 13. I'm just going to go.
We're
I'm
already
going to
into
go out on a
15,
limb.
Dave,
I'm
we're
going to
already
go
into
out on a
iPhone
limb. Would anybody
15.
disagree with that?
All right, let's go to some of these videos on these new cameras that show everything so much better than they did in the 70s.
Here, situational awareness, right? Count. You're in a bad situation here. There's no out, folks. You got to back off of this. This is tailgating, right? And the new cameras are going to show you an actual time seconds that you are following behind. So if you're comfortable where you think, well, this is plenty of space, you're going to know exactly how many seconds that is. And we know that at 68 miles an hour, you were traveling well over 100 feet per second. And that's about what you've got here. And no out. So just situational awareness. Here, again, this is just no good. You're in the right lane. Stay there. There's nothing merging. Now you go from good spacing to no spacing, and then you're going to make it worse and do 2 lane changes in about 2 seconds. Not a safe thing to do, not a way to protect your life or those around you. You can't see what's on the other side of this truck right now.
Yeah,
So you're going to jump out here. Now you still have no vision of what's going on in the big picture. And then, boom, you're lucky there's nothing out there. We've seen, what, mattresses? We've seen cars stopped. You can't make them quick lane changes. You're asking for an accident here. This is crazy. This is the one I was talking about. I wish I could get the license plate. Looks pretty innocent, don't it? What do you think's going to happen? Drive safe? Look at that.
Didn't see that coming.
No, not at all. I was like, well, this isn't nothing. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes a four-wheeler driving on the shoulder, basically, right? Along
There's
that. And
not even much room on that shoulder to be driving on.
Not at all. And then, boom. And it came from, I mean, in a matter of, what, 2 seconds, it was in your mirror and then past you. I mean, it's flying.
Like a UFO.
I'm looking in both mirrors, and I'm looking in the lanes to the left, and I see one car on the hammer lane, and then but there's several lanes of traffic available for this car, and I'm just not getting what all that's about. That's just stupid.
Yeah, and I think the driver here is also probably in the shoulder a little bit on those rumble strips to keep themselves awake and kind of active, because it probably was towards the end of a shift here. So there's not a lot of room on that shoulder. They were already closing that off a little bit.
That is scary. But you got to be ready, folks. And we show these to let you know that it's out there. It's real. Companies out there, if you don't believe your drivers when they tell you this stuff happens, it does. Our next one, again, good speed and space management, right? This truck in the right lane, exit lane, decides nope. Crosses the illegal double lines, right? And there's that point they could have hit. Great job by this driver. The speed was 55. They were well under the speed limit. Keep it, managing this, owning the space, as Drive Safe likes to say, right? Just a great job by this driver. And then that allows them to react to somebody doing something that you just may not be thinking about. And next one, again, the vehicle's already slowing. You can see the brake lights start slowing down. It looks like the lane's ending, and this vehicle's going to let this car in, and nobody knows what they're doing. And then you kind of jump out there. Hey, there was plenty of signal here to slow down. You don't have to understand what's going on. Hey, there's brake lights. Let's start backing up and keeping the space, right? Keep the space so that you can react to whatever.
We're already slowed down to the speed, too. There wasn't much reason for a lane change at the end there.
No. And this one here, again, don't know what happened. Looks like somebody lost part of a load. Looks like it might be drywall. I can't quite tell, make it out with all the powder. I'm going to assume maybe some drywall. But what was really
guess.
What was really bad? But, you know, look how far the vehicles are in front.
It could be anything if it's on the border.
But look how quick it happened here, right? And then when the smoke clears, there's no vehicles around. So I'm not sure if it was there and that vehicle in front hit it, or if it dumped and somebody's just flying. But again, what I saw in this and what you don't see is you see great job slowing down and stuff. The driver went from about 60 down to 29 right away. But right in here, they're not still slowing down. You know, so when they got the bridge and they seen the debris, keep slowing down. You don't know what you're going to run over, right? It's in here. Right here, they're down to about 29 right here, and then they start to pick up speed and drive through it. Hey, you still don't know what or how long there is. Still your vision. Keep slowing down in case there's something important, you know, maybe some piece of metal.
And the only thing I would suggest is that after you do run over a certain amount of debris on the road, you're going to want to pull over as soon as you can, not necessarily right here on the road, but the next truck stop, and check out your tires, check out your equipment, because that right there, that anytime that can kick up things, that can damage your equipment, and that can cause problems, that can cut tires. There's many, many things, and it can also catch in the underneath. It can catch hoses and lines. You definitely want, whenever you run over a major debris in the road, it doesn't matter what you think may have happened or it was a deal, you want to pull over at some point and check your equipment, because it can be damaged. This right here can cause problems to you and to anybody else, and you don't want to go way 500 more miles with a cut tire or cut hoses or something hanging on the back of your truck that can be injure or hurt somebody else out there. So you definitely want to find a place to pull over and just check out your equipment.
Yeah, you seen a sign there. There was an exit a mile or two up the road.
Yeah, you just want to take a quick look.
Folks, in construction and these lane changes patterns, you've got to be prepared to stop. We say that at every intersection, but these are even more. We know where this is. This is right here close to the terminal. It's been under construction for, over a year now, I think. But again, the lane pattern's going to change. Slow down. Be prepared to stop. It's yellow. If you're prepared to stop, this doesn't happen. And it's just too dangerous.
Yeah, the speed limit's 30 or 35 right there anyway. We do know that because it's like, come on, why is it 35? And then when you see this, where we're going 30, if you're going 30 or 35 like you should have been, you're going to have plenty of time to stop anyway.
Yes. And it says 21 on the chart, so he should have been able to stop.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a bad
Make sure we
decision.
follow those without a doubt. Make sure that we do our part, especially at those intersections. I do want to do this before we go into much more. If you can produce, I think it was like 3 videos ago was the I'm trying to think which one it was. It was a nighttime video that I think it was where the big truck kind of came back into the left lane. You can show that video here. That's the one, I believe. Let me see.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want you guys to look at this for a second. And is there anything else you see? And I'm more content related, I guess, because if you look in that upper left-hand corner, in that upper right-hand corner of the screen, just there, right there. Are those UFOs going by? You see them right there? What? Look. Is that what
in that left corner?
Have we seen it? You know what? I stand corrected. Y'all are right. The pictures show it. It's as clear as day, right? I mean, it's as clear as any other video we've seen. And, well, it must be a UFO. You've seen it here first on BCB Live. Not only, producer, are we the safest station in the nation, but we break things. We're breaking news. Coming up next week, we may show you Sasquatch. That may be next on BCB Live. Come on, producer.
Yeah, we got Michael Jones on the line. Mike Jones, what's going
Come on, Mike Jones.
Mike will take y'all's side on this.
Also, happy 6-year anniversary. I know you got that a couple days ago, so congratulations,
There you go, Michael.
sir.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
No, Michael.
No, Michael.
What happened?
UFO or UFO?
What happened to
UFO
him?
got him.
Alien, is
Disappear?
it?
Oh,
Did
you know what?
I'm going to tell you. So
Mike Jones goes.
he gone. We got one more.
Yeah, I did want to bring something up. It's been a common thing that's been talked about here the past couple days from the drivers, and that is post trips have been a little bit of a problem going forward. And just a reminder, guys, whenever you're doing your post trips, make sure to check those trailers, make sure they're in good condition so you don't leave a trailer for somebody else who has to go to a shop and then get it fixed up.
Are those even mandatory?
Post trips?
Yes.
Yes.
Seems weird that we would say to remind people if it's mandatory. That means you're doing it, right?
That's right. It should have.
You mean like stop at stop signs and stop at stoplights, stuff like that? Yeah, we do everything here to help out whenever it comes to safety. We'll go the extra mile, we'll go the extra minute, and we'll do the extra help, no matter what it is when it comes to safety.
But from a safety, let's just go to that because if it's what we do, if it's what we do, Bob, you're our safety expert, right? You come in here as an expert, and I mean, what do you do with? If you're a safety manager, or safety director at a company, what are you doing to ensure that we're checking out the equipment and when we drop it, if it's something, and it doesn't have to be something right with it doesn't have to be in good shape, but when something's wrong, what do you do to ensure that it's been reported?
We visit with the maintenance department to make sure we have things here anyway set up to send communication macro 39. We do log audits. Are they actually logging? We have a checklist.
I'm not asking for the audit. I'm going to go this and say if it's a checklist, I can check the box. I'm saying, but when you see something that it wasn't done, what happens? I mean, what happens on that? I mean, do we don't do anything? I mean, because if a driver picks it up, so go with me on this, producer. These drivers that are calling in, they're picking up a trailer and there's something wrong with it, and then so they're saying, hey, the post trip must not have been done because I'm picking it up and it's not right. That means whoever dropped that trailer didn't do it or needs to be educated perhaps on what to look for. What do you do to make sure that you get that message out to the entire fleet that you have?
Yeah, we didn't do a whole lot. We would call the drivers and talk to them, and we'd send periodic messages in the years past. This year we started that we let the drivers know that when we're notified or that we know of something, we are going to route that driver in. They are going to go through a minimum of 3 supervised pre-trips on equipment here and post-trips, and we're going to walk through them and train them. We're going to document it. they're going to have at least 3 that they're going to be routed here to help, because we got to a certain point, we kind of leveled off with our inspections. They got better, but then we kind of, so it was like, all right, what do we got to go to the next step? So what we've done is, starting this year, we've sent messages reminding them that all through January, so that they're not surprised by anything. And what we've, believe it or not, just by sending those messages, we've had 6 clean inspections the last 6. So we do think it's getting better, but we still got to get it. But we're going to have them routed here now. We're going to go a little step further than just talking.
Gotcha. And drive safe, Dave. But let's also face the facts is that sometimes, different eyes can see different things. It's nighttime and maybe you have the flashlight, but, if that tire is at 6:30 seconds all the way around and there's one tiny spot that's at 3:30 seconds or 2:30 seconds, you may miss that in the day shift. Maybe you see that. There's things that in the day or it's an opportunity for us as well in the day to make sure that what somebody says on the pre-trip is really a DOT thing as well.
Yes.
Right? Because sometimes they can say, man, this thing's got to, well, if the tire's at 4:30 seconds, it may look like it needs to be changed, but it's not. It's not illegal. There's nothing that the driver dropped it did wrong. However, that person that's picking it up, maybe they're just eyeball, maybe they're using the penny test or something like that, but maybe it's at 3:30 seconds, and yeah, we should say something about it, but it's not a DOT violation if it's at 3:30 seconds, right, Drive Safe?
Yeah, it is not especially on a trailer. It's got to be at 2:30 seconds. Yes. We have and it just depends on what your policy with your company is on what a pull point is. If you definitely 2:30 seconds is probably the industry wide. That is the minimum pull point for a tire. You report it that it needs to be changed, but some companies are at 3:30 seconds. Or a pull point, or even 4:30 seconds. So you just got to go by that, and you got to stick to what the policy of the company is, or whatever your company is on when that tire needs to be pulled.
Yeah, and I say this, and at the end of the day, I know there's all these things, but you know what? If you really are doing it and looking for things, 95% of the time you're going to catch it if you're really doing it. Mm-hmm. You're going to see a tire that needs to be done. You're going to see chafing on a tube. You're going to see something if you're looking for it. If you're not looking for it, you're just not going to see it. And if you're looking for it again, Dave, you can make a mistake. It's just, I must have missed it. But you know what? You really have to do it, I guess. Because if you don't make the effort and don't put no effort in it, you just check the box, that's not what it's about. You've got to make the effort. Go out there and do it. Look at it. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect 100% of the time, but you're going to catch things more times than not.
And I'll tell you the real key thing here is that the habit that you create and that you do every single time has to be followed every single time. And when you do your pre-trip and your post-trip, you need to set it up to where this is the way I do it. And as I walk through it and do it, I do it that way every single time. It doesn't matter if I drop 6 trailers. I walk those 6 trailers every single time the exact same way so that I know that they're done. And I know deep in my heart that I was done it. And I know that I do it a specific way. And there is I hold a flashlight a certain way, and I do it, and that's when I do a pre-trip. I do it a specific way. I don't do it a different way. And people are like, when I check the oil and roll in there, I always use a flashlight. Even in the daylight, I have my flashlight with me because I can see up underneath the trailer, or I can see a line or a valve. So, but yeah, you just use a flashlight.
Gotcha. All right, buckle up, Bob. You want to close us out with a prayer?
Yes, sir. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you again for another safe week. Protecting life out there on the highways, Lord. We thank you for the wisdom and the decision-making of the drivers out there. As we see every day, Lord, there's some crazies out there and that just don't have any regard for life. Lord, continue to give this company the wisdom to lead and to train and to teach up the drivers to be the safest in the nation out there, Lord, and protect the precious life you granted each and every one. Thank you, Lord, for their families that allow them to do the job they do out there. It's a thankless job in many days, and we just want to make sure that they understand they're appreciated and that they have your protection, Lord, each and every day. Lord, we ask all this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe. Make today the safest day that you've ever been. Make it your safest day. God bless you. We'll see you later on. Bye-bye.